Just before that, let me be clear that we are on the same page. We are at the end of the year. When I say end of the year, what do I mean? We are not on December 31st yet, but why am I saying end of the year? I'm referring to the end of the liturgical year. And our liturgical year has how many ordinary Sundays? What? 34. 34 Sundays, and today is the 33rd Sunday. And tomorrow, obviously, next weekend will be the 34th, which is celebrated as Christ the King. The choir has been preparing for songs, so they know it. The last Sundays always bring us a reminder about what's going to happen to us at the end of times, right? That's why some of the readings may seem to be gloom and doom, but it is not really so for those who believe, right? For those who don't believe, yes, doom, it is. You are done, you are gone, nowhere, I don't know where you go, but we know where we are going, right? I am so filled with gratitude to God for so many wonderful people among you who teach me lessons every time. We lost recently Andrea Grope, one of the saints, living saint. Her funeral is tomorrow. That lady has been diagnosed with cancer, and she was fighting that. She gave in. She was so graceful. She knew where she was going, and she didn't fear. And then there is one other, Jolene Thur. I have known her for several years. She's 93. She was preparing herself so much. I want to go home. She was ready to go because she knew where she was going. And I have another amazing lady, Anna Faraj. She has been diagnosed with some very incurable cancer, but her spirit is so lively. Yesterday I went to anoint her, and she was saying, I know where I am going, but meanwhile, I will continue to praise and give thanks to God and glorify Him. What a beautiful attitude. Amazing people among us teach me lessons every time. So, do you fear death? Do you fear the end of days? The resounding response should be, no. But there is a lot of hesitation. Why? Okay, we know where you're going, right? Okay, Daniel in the first the first reading from the prophet Daniel gives us hope in the time when there was a huge persecution against people of Israel when they were in exile. This was a Greek king, Antiochus Epiphanes, who was terrible. And so Daniel had a vision, and he offers this hope. Not everything is so bad. All those written in the book will be saved, right? Jesus in the gospel offers us gloom and doom, saying, all these stars are going to fall and heaven is going to shake. But then, that's not the end of our story. Our story continues because of Jesus. Only Jesus can assure us that this is not going to be the end. You will die, in fact. All that we know to be so solid, so firm, the people that we know to be great, presidents, prime ministers, pope, and bishops, all of us are going to die, but that is not the end of the world. But then you will live forever. Forever, there are two sides to the coin there, this side or that side, but that's going to be forever. So you don't have to worry if you know where we are going, right? But meanwhile, don't waste time looking to the future and worrying about something that we have no control over, and waste your time. Meanwhile, the second coming of Jesus keeps happening today, now, at this time. When we come to church, when we come for Mass, we encounter Christ, we hear Him speak to us with the words of the Scripture, and then we consume Him in His own body and blood. So we are so privileged to be encountering Jesus every day of our lives when we come for Mass. But then there is something more. There is something more in the sense we encounter him when we go out of the church. It all depends on how you are able to open your eyes and see Christ present among us. Today, 33rd Sunday, is observed as the Sunday of the Poor, World Day of the Poor, designated by Pope Francis in 2016. The poor are with us. We encounter him in different ways. Poor are not only those who are financially afflicted, but those, many of us who can be listed in that category of people who need help. Andrew Greeley has these beautiful instances where he encountered Christ in different ways. One of them, he says, is when he was working in a soup kitchen, serving soup for the poor. He saw a white woman serving soup and bread and coffee to a black man, and the black man was so filled with gratitude as he went away, he profusely thanked her. And she came and accosted him to the door, and meanwhile she noticed his shoes were in bad shape. She told him to wait for a moment. She ran to the closet, brought several pairs of shoes, and when she came, she knelt down on her knees and tried to fit each of the pair until she found the correct fit. And that man was so grateful. And he says, that day I encountered the second coming of Jesus in that 40 minutes encounter. Then there is another story. He says he was in a restaurant, fast food restaurant, when a busload of children came on to the restaurant. And you can imagine these days children have no, but that encounter, she said, was amazing. He could see Christ present at that moment because the children that came in were filled with profound pleas and thank yous to the waitress. And as they left, they cleaned the table and tipped her generously and left that waitress a happy woman. That day, he said he saw Christ. And then he was lost on a road. He didn't have GPS those days, okay? He was lost and he was trying to find the address, and he stopped a car and asked for it. He was in a hurry, that man was in a hurry, but still that man went around, took a U-turn, came around and told him, follow me, I will put you on the right road. That day, he said, he saw Christ. Another instance where a poor priest was very badly treated by some of the hostile members of his parish, and he did not know this priest, but when he came to know the story, he called him up and he said, can I buy you a good lunch? I will come and drive to see you. So he drove for 40 minutes and then met with the priest, treated him for a lunch, encouraged him, and then came back. Half a tank of gas gone, but still that encounter was Jesus. We can encounter Jesus everywhere we go. Today, as you came, if you had smiled at your neighbor and said hello to them, not only those that you are familiar with, but those who are not familiar. Did you take a time to say hello to your neighbor? If you didn't do it, there is still time. You can do it. Encounter Christ in people. As we celebrate the Sunday of the Poor, we have a great opportunity today to reflect on how many poor people are around us. And Catholic Charities is one of the wings of the diocese that reaches out to the poor people in our area, including Brevard County. So let us now look at the video and see how this beautiful arm of our diocese reaches out to people in need as a beacon of hope.
Our very mission is about providing hope to people in difficult circumstances. And if in some small way we can provide the reassuring message of Jesus Christ, His love and mercy to people in need, then we've done well.
Pathways to New Hope is our newest program. It's a reduced rent housing program that offers permanent housing with supportive services, vocational training and educational training. We have career counseling, housing counseling, life coaching. What's really cool is it's in the heart of downtown Sanford. I don't think Sanford's seen anything like this in the Goldsboro area.
It gives them a new shot at life.
We are building 15 rooms, and they're going to be a series of dorm-style rooms. Every component of this building is going to be brand spanking new. New windows, new floors, new drywall, new showers, new ceilings.
I think we could fill it tomorrow with bedrooms, for example, in a few hours.
I think there's plenty of people that have jobs and have families and aren't living on the streets that are only a couple paychecks away from being homeless themselves.
I think what Jesus said, come to me all you who are weary, and I will refresh you.
I heard screaming outside my front door. So when I pulled open the front door, I see, my neighbor's kids are outside screaming, and all of their whole apartment was completely in flames. I quickly got dressed and just got my daughter up and got her out of there. It was kind of scary, and then within a few minutes, my apartment was completely in flames. All I can do is just sit on the curb and just stare at everything just going down the drain. Forever grateful for you guys reaching out to me. I appreciate it because I felt so, alone. Help with some clothes and also food for me and my daughter and a place to stay.
My new room is bigger. I have a princess bed and a princess dresser.
Catholic Charities is definitely a beacon of hope for a family in need.
Using my skills and passion in computers, I teach refugee peers how to use computers to better be efficient and for their education.
I went to your main office and I just did a cold call. We just felt like we were accepted into the family.
I feel really, really excited. So it's initially I didn't even know if this idea was gonna work. Nobody would accept a 16-year-old teaching, but Catholic Charities was kind of like a lifesaver. They gave me the opportunity to do so.
Being able to help somebody is actually a privilege and a blessing in itself.
If you truly care about what you do, Catholic Charities is the place to go. And by interacting with Catholic Charities, you just automatically become a better person.
I got a call from a mother who was facing an unplanned pregnancy. She was 17 years old and she's 5 months pregnant with a baby boy. And her voice through the phone sounded just defeated. I reached out to the pregnancy center on her behalf. She was in need of baby clothes, strollers, items, baby bottles. We pray for them, they choose life, but what comes after that? I think our office makes that connection.
Life is sacred in all its stages. Yes, the unborn is a preeminent issue where the most of the lives are lost, but we also have to take care of our elderly, take care of all those that are incarcerated, and really value that life. Even if I impact one person, that's a win for me.
Most of the patients that I see are very great people, hardworking. They're working through pain and they're taking care of loved ones and families.
All my teeth were broken and just terrible. And I never smiled. And it got there at the end where I couldn't really eat, and it's changed my whole life.
When patients get their new teeth, I cry every single time.
If you support the clinic, financially or with time, you'll see a direct impact in your community.
They treated me with dignity and kindness. I want to say thank you. Thank you.
The biggest hopes we have are for an increasing number of donors because things are more expensive, as we all know from our own personal lives. And if people would join us in prayer and join us with their time, their talent, and their treasure, we truly can make a difference in the world.
And as you saw in the video, so much is happening with the Catholic Charities. We are using their services as well. And in Brevard County itself, I was told I have written about it in the bulletin, there is that Family Stability Program. Case managers provided 2,390 individuals with emergency financial assistance for utility bills, rent, and other urgent needs. So much is happening, and every day of their life they encounter Christ. And you, I hope, will be the cause of that joy that you bring to people. As you saw that lady smiling after the dental work, beautiful. That child is saying, I got a princess bed and a princess drawers. That's beautiful, amazing witness that we all can continue to rejoice. Those who work for righteousness will shine like the stars in the sky. So let us now thank God for this opportunity as He invites us to participate in this work of charity.